Welcome to the Work, Wealth, and Travel podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and this podcast is your guide to start creating a lifestyle by design. From entrepreneurship, money and finance, tax optimization and residencies, and everything in between, this show highlights the nuances of a true global citizen lifestyle. Let's dive in. It is still possible to obtain a citizenship in as little as 6 to 12 months, but this may not be the reality forever. In this video, I'm going to dive into one of, not the only, but one of the best options in order to obtain a citizenship relatively quickly. Now, these citizenship options are in the Caribbean, and prices have increased from my last video. So if you're watching that one, be sure to check this one out. We're going to dive through what the updated pricing looks like, and if I really think that this is still a good investment to invest in 2024 and beyond. Before we dive into what the current pricing looks like, let's talk about some of the overall benefits of obtaining Caribbean citizenship. Now, there are only a few countries left in the world that offer a citizenship by investment program, which means that you are giving your money in terms of donation. In some countries, this is going to be through a real estate option, which all of these countries in the Caribbean do offer this option, or you're going to be donating it to their national development fund or to another institution to better the island. Now, currently, all of these countries do have Schengen access, but we're going to talk about that at the end of the video and the trajectory that I see Schengen access going on in terms of the Caribbean island investment. Now, another nice aspect of these citizenships is that they require essentially little to no time on the ground in order to obtain the citizenship, but also in order to keep the citizenship active. So you're not going to have to spending even 1 month, definitely not 6 or 12 months in order to obtain the citizenship. So that is a nice option for those who don't have time, but do have the money in terms of investment. In most of these countries in the Caribbean, you're going to be getting between 140 to 150 countries where you have visa-free access with your new citizenship. Now, you won't have visa-free access to your tier 1 countries, to your US, Canada, UK, but you are still able to apply for travel there, and you do have Schengen access, and you also have access to alternative countries that are more interesting in a lot of cases for our clients, where on a traditional passport such as Canada or US, you're not going to have access to countries like China and Russia. So you do get visa-free travel depending on the citizenship that you are looking to acquire in the Caribbean. So it's important to note that the pricing for the island of St. Kitts and Nevis has not changed, as they previously had changed their pricing prior to any of these other islands increasing their pricing. So in all 5 of these island countries, being Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Kitts and Nevis, you are going to be looking at either a minimum donation or a minimum real estate investment. Now, there are a few other ways to apply for the citizenship depending on the island of interest, but in most cases, we typically recommend going the donation route to the country's national development fund. Now, there are various investment options when you are looking to purchase a citizenship in the Caribbean. So you have the real estate investment or the donation investment to the country's national development fund. There are a few other options depending on the islands that you're looking at, but it's usually going to be a donation of some sort in order to gain citizenship. Now, in terms of the real estate investment, I quite honestly recommend clients to most of the time go the donation route. Yes, you are giving away your money, but you are getting something extremely valuable in return. But in most of the cases in these island countries, you are going to only have a selection of pre-approved developments to choose from in order to qualify for citizenship. So it's not always the right lane for everyone unless you are interested in one of these pre-approved developments, which we can absolutely assist you with further. Let's first talk about the minimum donation amount. If you're looking at Dominica, it is now a flat $200,000, and keep in mind this is only for the main applicant. If you have additional applicants or a spouse that is going to be on your application, that is going to be an additional fee. So going up to around $500,000, even plus in some cases, is not uncommon. Now, next up, we have Antigua and Barbuda, which is now at $230,000 USD. We have Grenada, which is $235,000, so $235,000. We have St. Lucia at $240,000 and St. Kitts and Nevis at $250,000. And again, this specific price has not changed. So the lowest option currently is Dominica, which is $200,000. And the most expensive is St. Kitts and Nevis, where the price has not changed, starting at $250,000 or $250,000 USD. Now, in terms of the minimum real estate investment in Dominica, you are also looking at $200,000. So for both the donation and the investment in real estate, that is going to start at a flat rate of $200,000. In Antigua and Barbuda, you're looking at $235,000 for their real estate investment, so only $5,000 more from their donation amount. Grenada is $270,000, so this is a few thousand more than the donation option being $235,000, the real estate option being $270,000. Next up, we have St. Lucia. St. Lucia's real estate investment option is $300,000, whereas their minimum donation is $240,000. So you're looking at a $60,000 difference for their real estate investment. And St. Kitts and Nevis for the real estate investment is $400,000. Contrast that to their donation option, which is only $250,000. Keep in mind that all of these fees are only for the main applicant, and they do not include the government fee or the legal and processing fees. So those are additional fees to add on to the application as well. Now let's talk about a country of interest, which is Grenada. So Grenada is looking at around a 9 to 12 month wait time in order of processing times for your application. I'm going to talk about that a little further below the general processing times that we're seeing. But Grenada does have visa-free travel access to Schengen area, UK, Russia, and Singapore. So some great alternative market access in terms of visa-free travel. One particular point of the Grenada citizenship that many clients are interested in is the E2 visa. So yes, the E2 visa is very much so a possibility in order for you to get a visa to go over to the US. However, you must have a company with significant capital. You're looking at around $1 million USD to start out with in the US in order to qualify. And yes, you do need to live in Grenada in order to qualify as well. Now let's talk about my thoughts and if Caribbean citizenship by investment is still worth it with the absolute base price starting at $200,000 when it used to start at $100,000. Now, one of the biggest points when Caribbean was looking to increase their pricing was the loss of potential Schengen zone access. As it currently stands, there will be no loss in Schengen zone access within the EU. However, this could always change. Of course, this was used for these island countries to increase their citizenship by investment amount by a significant amount. So if the EU is looking to make additional changes in the future, again, this can always be held as a threat over these island countries' heads. So while it is currently not an issue, while Schengen access is still in place for all of these island countries, that can change at any point in the future. And especially if you're looking at the EU, it very well may change, especially in years to come. Another point that was established during this price increase is that there will soon be a quota implemented for all of these island nations, where there will be an annual quota of the amount of applications that they can accept. So it will not be an open revolving door as it was in the past. So yes, this program is not only increasing in price, but is continuing to get stricter and more stringent rules in various other aspects. Along with this, we also have the processing times. So while past processing times could be as fast as 3 to 6 months, especially quite a few years back, processing times are now on average between 6 to 12 months. And 12 months is no longer a maximum wait time. This is very normal and will continue to become increasingly normal for applicants to be waiting 12 months plus in order for their due diligence to be processed and their application to go through and be approved to have that passport in hand. Now, if you are not looking to invest potentially up to $500,000 plus, you do have other options. There are still some countries in Latin America specifically where you can spend 3 to 4 years on average is what we see with clients. You will need to live in that country for a set amount of time. You will become a tax resident. These are by no means low taxing countries, but for a few years' time, in order to gain citizenship via naturalization, this could very much so be a reality for you. So there are still countries where this is a possibility. You're not going to be investing $500,000 like you would in this citizenship. You're probably going to be looking at $5,000 for the straightforward process if you qualify. If not, you're looking at around $10,000 to $15,000 in order to obtain residency and citizenship in a few years' time, which is quite a stark decrease in pricing when you compare that to the new pricing of the Caribbean island investments. Not only in Latin America, but you also have various other options throughout the globe. Of course, you also have Turkey's CBI program, which is currently starting at $400,000. Again, prices can always change and will only continue to increase. Currently, it's at $400,000 in real estate in the country of Turkey, country near and dear to my heart. And then you can use that in order to qualify for citizenship through your investment in that country. There are various other options scattered throughout the world, throughout Europe, some in Asia, a lot in Latin America that you can use to obtain residency, citizenship, and of course, tax optimized company formations, and through all of this personal and corporate banking. So if you're interested in learning more, in seeing what these solutions could look like for you, book a call below or reach out to us to become a client. You've just listened to the Work, Wealth, and Travel podcast. If anything from this episode resonated with you, I'd appreciate if you share this podcast on your socials. And of course, be sure to tag us at Work, Wealth, and Travel. And don't forget to leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for joining us on this global citizen journey, and we'll see you in the next episode.